Here is how to set up a floodlight in xLights. Now, a pixel floodlight is nothing more than a single 10-watt pixel. One pixel. That's it for each floodlight. Now, the only thing we need to do is make sure that it appears differently because it has a wide broadcast of light. So, first thing is, of course, you're going to need to set up your floodlights on your controller, configure the universe and channels, and we're going to assume at this point you've done that. And in this example, we're going to set up 10 floodlights. That means that we need 30 channels, and we're going to assume that they're on universe 1, for example. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go ahead and create 2 rows. Maybe there's one across one side of my house here, and one across this side of the house. Whoops. Okay, now it's also important to note that each of these have a green box and a blue box. Now let's say our control box is in the middle here, and I'm sending 5 floods worth of data out this way. So they're all daisy chain and 5 floods worth of data this way. But this is a start location of right here on the green. So we're going to actually change this one to blue square. So we're going to blue square start here. And for this one, we're going to have green square. And we're going to send universes 1 through 15 on the left and 16 through 30 on to the right. All right, so we're going to go up here. I'm just going to call this floods left. And I'm going to say, now nodes, this is floods in this case, so we're going to say 5. And now you're going to see that it spaces out 5 individual floodlights. So now let's go down and make them look like floodlights. So we can go down here to appearance and change this. So you may have to change this appropriately to fit your particular project. So I'm going to save that. Okay, so these create circles, as you can imagine. Now, if that's the spacing you're working with, great. If not, you may need to adjust the spacing. Obviously, this is specific to each one. And you can also change the way that it looks. So you can make them look more like floodlights because they have less light on the outside and more in the middle. All right, so now I'm just going to go ahead and go over here to my other one. And I'm going to say floods right. And again, I'm going to put 5 pixels. And I am going to go down here and put 100. And I am going to do blended. All right, going to save that. All right, now what we would do is we would go into these and set our particular universe. So we might have a particular controller here, or it might be any, and we would set 1, in this case universe 1, start channel 1, and you could also run them backwards. You can do addressing backwards. There's a lot of different things we can do here. And then the second one, I could daisy chain them, but like we have here, end of models left. In this case, I just prefer to go ahead and define that. So I'm going to say start at channel 16 on universe 1. So now we can see that we have #1, which is the universe number 1, and we have channel 1 is the start of this, and channel 15 is the end of that. And now we have our floodlights, and you can see that these are spaced out. And if you space them, you can move them around. And of course, if you do need to have individual control, you're not in a line, you may need to create individual pixels. So instead of a line, you may just want to change this down to, for example, 1 single flood, if that's appropriate for your particular design. So again, adjustment may be necessary. You also may find it easier to group these. So for example, grouping them together in different groups, you might create different models for each one. Then sequencing them is just simply dragging your effect down onto this. So if you want them to chase left or right, you would do that appropriately. And that's how you set up HolidayCoro pixel floods.